I think it's good morning. It's nearly 1 o'clock. I was asleep up until about, excuse me, about 10:30 or something. I got woken up and I've been sitting waiting to see why I got woken up, because if I get woken up it's because I'm being told to pay attention to something that's gonna come my way. My God, did it come my way. So Nigel Farage has resigned as leader of Reform, and I had told him on X a couple of years ago during the elections. Was it during Trump's election or just after Trump's election? But warning him, don't get involved. I said that he would lose everything if he gets involved with the wrong people. I said, I'm telling you now, you need to get away from Trump, or it's going to come back on you. And I was right. And now he's resigned. And I'm watching the fallout from everything, and it's just surreal. Now the interesting thing is that Donald Trump didn't fly on his new plane. He took his old plane, and people were wondering, and he talking about his mortality. People were wondering why he switched planes, and this guy said, well, talking about assassination attempts on Trump, and he was saying, something along the lines of, in the old days, they would have thrown grenades in or something like that, but nowadays they use electromagnetic pulses and infrared lasers and stuff. So I took a screenshot and I'm like, thank you, because everybody said I was nuts. Remember, I did the investigation into all those plane crashes in Philly, Potomac, Toronto, India, because I could actually see the electromagnetic pulses with my eyes. I could actually, and on X, and that I had like screenshots, and I put circles around them, and I was like, look, see, you can see the camera reacting, you can see this, you can see that, and everyone was like, she's nuts. Well, this expert has just said, yep, no, they take planes down using electromagnetic pulses. I just call them direct energy weapons, it's what they are. So, I was right about everything. When I investigated the Potomac plane and helicopter crash, the car blowing up outside Trump Towers, the crash in Toronto, the crash in Philly, the crash in India, I said, that's Trump and Musk, and they're using direct energy weapons to do it. People said I was nuts. Well, this guy now, Donald Trump, won't fly in his own plane because he's scared of direct energy weapons hitting his plane. Karma, what goes around comes around. And he's talking about his own mortality. And then, spookily, while I was typing all that out and posting it, I heard an owl hoot. And in my culture, when you hear an owl hoot, and it was just one owl, it wasn't like an owl having a conversation with another owl. In my culture, when you hear an owl hoot, death is coming knocking. It's like the Māori version of the banshee. So I'm watching it all collapse. And remember, I was talking about the nearest and dearest with the laws of convex linear reversion. It's getting the people around, like if X marks the spot and X is Trump, Starmer, Musk, Zelensky, that sort of thing, then the laws of convex linear reversion is that the shock waves go inward instead of outward and hits the nearest and dearest first as karma targets X. So all the things standing around X get hit first so that the impact on X is felt harder. And I'm watching it. And now all hell's breaking loose with the Epstein thing, and it's come out that, you know, he's been making billions from crypto, which is, I think, is ironically what brought Starmer down. And it's all just starting to implode. It's my mango dream. It's my blood on his hands dream. His days are numbered. And the whole plane thing and being struck by lightning. I had that message, Donald Trump, God wants a word, where he was talking about where I was saying about seeing a plane, and it's like it was struck by lightning, and then Trump on the ground with paramedics standing over him, standing over his body, laying on the ground. Now, I'm not saying that that's how that's going to happen, but I think it's like because he's not listening to the warnings. And when it's getting to the point where he's too scared to get in a plane because what goes around comes around, electromagnetic pulses taking his plane down, because that's what he did with that Black Hawk helicopter and all that, and blamed it on the fact that the pilot was a lesbian when they were doing it the whole time using those weapons. And now it's what he's afraid of. So it's poetic justice. But when I saw him on the ground, it was in the White House, like in the Oval Office or something. And yeah, he's losing his mind. People are talking about him like talking to ghosts and having like paranoid delusions. Apparently he's become exceptionally paranoid, which is just brilliant because it's karma. It's full force karma, and it's messing with his head. I don't think for 1 second he's got dementia, really. I think it's just his dissension psychosis, which, as I have stated in videos before, come off like dementia symptoms. Dementia symptoms. I did a study into it, and dissension psychosis is almost identical to dementia. So, Matariki, I've obviously been good in the last 12 months because my ancestors are rewarding me with the kind of indication that is going to get me a lot more money out of this lawsuit than even I thought I was going to get. Because I haven't been wrong about a single thing. The murder of King George, which means I was right about the murder of Queen Elizabeth II and first, and Queen Victoria. And I said it before and I'll say it again, King Charles' cancer was given to him. I've been right about the little things and I've been right about the big things. And it's like something's coming. I can feel it. Massive change, massive sweeping change is about to sweep me up and carry me away. It's like I'm watching my hurdles being slowly removed in real time. Where him and Musk and that are just getting brushed aside. Where all the obstacles are just getting brushed aside. I'm watching it. And it's like I'm at the starting gate. And it's like, get ready, Debbie, because once that gate opens, you're off. Pew. Trump is, now that Starmer's gone and Farage is out, it'll be Trump next, I'm telling you. His administration is falling apart. It's falling apart in slow motion to get everybody ready and prepared, because once he's gone, all hell's going to break loose in America, because all his truths are going to be revealed. His family will probably have to go into hiding if they're not rounded up by federal marshals and that first. Because now that the Epstein stuff's coming out, and the everything to do with cryptocurrency and all that, and all the billions he's made from that, it's why he's gone after Iran again, to distract from the fact that he doesn't want Americans finding out that he's stolen billions from them, made billions from them, and people are starting to get named in the Epstein files. They're trying to use the Department of Justice to gatekeep the files. But the courts are saying no, they have to be released or you're getting arrested. So what does Trump do? Start up the whole Iran thing again. He's so formulaic. Just absolutely formulaic. Sorry, just, I wish you could hear that owl. It's not constant, it's just every now and then. So, yeah. So I've obviously been a good girl, an extra special good girl, over the last 12 months, because for my Māori New Year, my ancestors have been gifting me. Instead of me making offerings to the ancestors, they've been gifting me vindication in the forms of, I can take that to the bank. Because remember I was saying they use the police, use those energy weapons on the public here in the UK. She's crazy. Blah, blah, blah. I even showed the legal documents from their own websites and stuff that says that they use them to control crowds. But they use them with the 5G towers and that as well to make you go nuts and run out on the street and stab people and stuff. Run them over with cars and attack innocent children. That's what they use them for. But they also use them to bring planes down. And I could see it when that Potomac crash and the Philly one and the Toronto one and the Indy one, I could see it with my own eyes. And when the people were saying they could hear cracking, and I was like, that's because that was the electromagnetic pulses in that messing with the metal of the plane, like buckling the metal. And I put red rings around it saying, look, see, you can see it, look, see how the camera reacted? That's because of the electromagnetic pulses. And people were like, she's nuts. Trump and Musk and that wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. Why would he do that? Because he wants to take over the FAA and replace all the planes with his ones with AI bots flying them. It's never going to happen. He'll be in prison long before then. And I kept saying, I bought Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, Tucker Carlson, all of them. I brought a lot of people in on those conversations. I said, you need to get them investigated because they're murdering people. They're crashing those planes. They're using direct energy weapons. Oh, she's crazy. Shadow ban her. Get rid of her Instagram. Oh. And now Donald Trump is avoiding flying certain planes because he's scared they're going to use the direct energy weapons on him. And people said I was nuts. But no, it's just I'm smarter than the average bear and I pay attention. I see things. People need to understand that the word occult literally means knowledge of the hidden. I see things between the veil. I see things, I pay attention to things nobody else sees. I see the in-between. And just because you can't see it and I can, doesn't mean that it's not real. It's just that I'm seeing it before you're allowed to see it. And, you know, I've spent over 2 years warning people, don't get involved with that person, get away from that person, don't trust that person, don't get involved in this, you need to walk away, you need to arrest this person, you need to investigate these people, and everyone said I was nuts. And now look, all hell's broken loose. The towers are coming down and everybody's getting squashed by the debris while I'm sitting just roasting marshmallows on an open fire. Watching it all happen. And now the owl's hooting. So death is knocking on someone's door. Get ready. And it's always someone you're not expecting. I'll crack up if it turns out to be Trump. Because he's talking about his mortality. He knows the soul extraction. And the thing is, his legacy is going to be that of being a pedophile, a sexual predator, a man who started a war to cover up all the pedophile crimes. You know, this whole thing with NATO, every single one of those NATO leaders are on the Epstein files for either providing the children or trafficking them or using them. Every single one of them, including the women. Every single one of them I found in connection to Epstein. So they're basically letting him do the dirty work in exchange for him protecting them so that their names don't come out and get exposed. But their names are coming out and they're going to get exposed. Putting him in power, all it's done is delayed the inevitable. But once he's gone, as he's being dragged down and pulled down by the demons, you know, in that scene Ghost, when Willie and all that, when the demons come up out of the ground, like that, and then they drag him backwards and pull him down into the shadows of the street and stuff, that's happening now. They're attached to Trump, they're attached to Starmer, they're attached to Burnham too, because of the way he's acting. So they're all getting dragged backwards, like they're all getting dragged down, with Trump being the X factor, circling the drain. When he falls down the plug hole, will get sucked into the vortex of the black hole, all the rest will go with him, and they'll all go down the sink together, down the drain together. I don't watch the news. I couldn't tell you what's happening in Russia. I couldn't tell you what's happening in Iran, other than, Trump is starting trouble again because, as with Venezuela and all that, anything to do with exposure of Epstein, he starts a war somewhere. And everyone going along with it is because they're all on the list too. So they all pretend like they don't want to get involved in Iran, but they are. He's just given NATO a few hundred billion. So I don't watch the news because none of it's real. It's all fake, it's all lies, it's all propaganda. I only listen to the very few sources out there that I trust, and I don't necessarily agree with all their opinions, but I post them because of the information that comes out in their facts. I don't listen to opinions, I listen to facts. And the facts that have been coming out is my physics has been spot on about every bloody thing. And now they can't even deny the whole plane crash thing. If they took me to court now, I could say, yeah, look, see, play the videos and I'll show you. And they'll show you the evidence that they use them, and I'll show you where they've even said they use them. Because now Donald Trump is too scared to get on the plane in case they use them. Because the truth is the truth. The truth doesn't lie. And he's been coming out and admitting all sorts of things. Funding the war against Russia, even though he's supposed to be friends. Like, yeah. Because when you're in the presence of God, you're forced to speak the truth, I keep saying. And people keep saying with dementia, they can slip out and tell the truth. So, a big lump of masonry's about to fall on that man. Like the Wicked Witch of the West when the house fell on the witch. So get ready, because it's about to get interesting. God is, I'm telling you now, the path has been cleared for me. The towers are coming down when the dust settles and the debris cleared. I'm going to get a free passage, like a clear passage to America. And that's why I got emotional today when I was talking about my son and talking about America, because that's been the original plan since 2016, and here we are 10 years later. It's taken me 10 years to fight all the obstacles that were put in my path, to fight all the people, to fight all the bullshit, because they thought by bringing the Secret Service, the military, the government, the police, judges, cops, lawyers, social media oligarchs, all that sort of thing, by bringing all them in, they'd crush me. And standing on my own 2 feet with nothing but physics in one hand and faith in the other, I'm defeating them all. They're all getting exposed and torn to shreds. And remember I said, it doesn't matter what they threaten us with. Oh, they're taking the water away. Oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. It doesn't matter what they threaten us with. It doesn't matter what they think their plan is. It's not going to happen the way they think it is. They're not in charge of this. And the fact that Starmer and Farage are gone, the fact that Trump is getting eaten alive, the fact that people are getting exposed all over the place, and the walls are starting to come crashing down on them all is proof that they walked right into God's plan. And the more they don't listen, the worse it gets for them. And I said last time, this ends in arrests. This ends in people going to The Hague, because I made sure that the ICC were watching. So I wasn't planning on making any of these videos ever again. But for me, the stuff that I am posting is because it's part of my legal fight to clear my name, to say, see, it wasn't me. I was never a knife-wielding, wanting to take my own life maniac. It was all a lie. I was set up. I had my good name lied against, defamation, slander. I had my identity stolen. I had my products and my creative ideas stolen. I had my children ripped from the only person that was there to protect them from the abusers. I lost money, I lost property, I lost everything because of the lies of one person, Rocio. Because I was starting to remember things, and I was starting to expose what she was doing and what she'd done to my child. And she went to Trump through her connection to the Secret Service and using the Air Force and the Army. Threat to national security. I was a threat to pedophiles and human traffickers. And they're all pedophiles and human traffickers. Or they sleep with them or protect them. And I was right about everything. But if they hadn't did what they did, if I hadn't have gotten locked up, I wouldn't have done my investigation and uncovered everything about the plan against the royal family, the direct energy weapons, the plane crashes, Trump's plan to steal all the gold and silver, you know, the whole Super Bowl investigation, Project Noah's Ark. I wouldn't have uncovered any of that. The plan to take down the monarchy, the murders of so many royals at the hands of the British and Americans. The British government and American government have no loyalty to the people of Britain, Europe, or the royal family. They hate the royal family. They loathe, despise, and hate the royal family. And it's just sad that we're losing the monarchy because he didn't listen. I understand I'm a random person on social media who's banging the drum and blowing the whistle and saying, hey, look, I've uncovered this. I showed them all the evidence. I put all the evidence out there. And he didn't listen. Or whoever runs his social media didn't listen. And I know he was watching. I know he was watching. You can't not get involved in the things that I was whistleblowing on. He can't not have known about it because it was big, serious stuff. And in them getting people on their end to watch me, to watch my downfall, they just ensured that I had witnesses to my rise when I was finally strong enough to be able to stand and defend myself. Because, like I said, it took me a few years to get used to eating food again. I ended up becoming allergic to everything. even peanuts, which means I couldn't even have peanut butter for nearly 3 years. It was devastating. Because of refeeding syndrome. So it took 3 years to stop my head from spinning from the shock of what I'd just been thrown into. But in keeping my head down and having to do my own investigation into what happened to me opened a whole rabbit hole that I was not expecting to go down, that ended up with me getting involved in a political fight in order to protect the King and the people of Great Britain. And while they came after me and threatened me with everything you can imagine I've been threatened with, because I was right about everything. And instead of giving me a job and saying, hey, come and work for us, like come and protect the King, or, and we'll let you build your school and whatever. No, they didn't. They would just kill her, just get rid of her, shut her up, because they have far more to lose than I do. So, in spite of everything, I've been brave and put my big girl pants on, and I just put it all out there. I put it all out there, knowing the risk. I put the whole lot out there. Every little investigation that seemed ridiculous, every investigation, every claim, every code that I got that seemed far-fetched or insane or litigious even, I was right about everything. And now I can tell there's a whole bunch of people out there wishing they had listened to me in the first place, because now they're losing everything and being humiliated. Everyone that's been taken down, they've been taken down in a way that is causing public humiliation and shame, because their takedown is happening very slowly, so that everybody takes it in, so that no one forgets, so that it never, ever, ever, ever happens again. We get a whole new world after this. America's never the same. Great Britain's never the same. Europe is never the same. Europe is the next. Watch Europe, because now that America's crumbling and Great Britain's crumbling, Europe is next. The EU nations and that, they'll be next. So watch all the NATO nations and that, the EU. You're going to start seeing countries within the EU fighting each other, and countries in the EU preparing to pull out of the agreement. They'll go independent again, become republics and that again. You just watch, mark my words. Now that the poop has hit the fan for Trump, and he's getting, like, the stench is overwhelming for him and Starmer, because the poop's hit the fan so much, I can smell the stench from here. The flies are going to start buzzing around the EU and that next. Just watch, mark my words. France and Germany first. Just keep watching, because I'm never wrong. So, yeah. Sorry, I was trying to figure out if that was the owl. So, yes, I get ready for the Grim Reaper's coming. So just watch this space. I'm not making a habit of doing these politically infused videos and MSNN newsflash. That, like, I'm not doing that anymore. The only stuff I'm putting up is in regards to my legal fight. Because I'm not going to stop until I get justice. I want Christopher Black and Rocio Ray Nunez and Martin Arche and everybody else held accountable for what they did. All of them, from top to bottom, Trump down to the bottom feeders, which were my students and clients, and every single one of them I want held accountable. I want an admission of guilt, I want an apology, and I want a big fat compensation cheque so that I can get me and my boys out of here and give us the life of their dreams. Everything that we had planned. That's one of the most heartbreaking things that my son said to me last year when they walked out and I didn't see them for a year. He said, "Your dream of going to America was my dream too. Your dream was my dream." And I was trying to explain to him the only reason why we weren't there is because of Chris. He said, "I had people in America stop your mother from taking you to America because I didn't want you being around a convict." Um, so he admitted that he sabotaged my marriage. So he admitted that he went out of his way to end my marriage, and Martin fell for the lies. He told them that we were sleeping together and stuff, but it wasn't. It was sexual assault. And everybody believed it because everybody wanted to believe it, because everybody had a reason to want to kick me while I was down, because I was expecting them to do the work, to do the training, and to have morals and ethics before I let them around children. Was I wrong? No, because they couldn't be trusted around children. Anyone who protects a child groomer and a paedophile can't be trusted around children. And two of those women worked with children as school teachers. I had every right to administer the Judas test. The only person I don't hold responsible is my ex-best friend, Jose. Even though I forgive him, I don't want to have anything to do with him. I want zero contact with anyone from my past. He's the only one I don't hold responsible, and I won't hold responsible for legally, because I know that he was fed a whole bunch of lies. And his only mistake was is that he believed the lies and got caught up with the paedophile. I I did not need to see what his private parts looked like. That was none of my business. Why she brought him into that and brought me into that, I will never know. That was none of my business. Who he was sleeping with was none of my business, other than the fact that he didn't know she was a paedophile. So acts of revenge ended up blowing up in people's faces. But he's the only one that I don't hold responsible. All the rest can go down in a burning heap of flames. But because of his disloyalty, I don't want him. I have no interest in having him back in my life either. I did try to reach out, um, and got gaslit, but it it enabled me to cut off all emotion. Because as I keep saying, as a Scorpio, when we attach, when we love someone, um, it's letting go is really hard. And it took me years to let go of my attachment to him because I loved him so much because he was my best friend. When I love a person, whether they're male or female or whatever, if I say I love you, I mean it, and I'm ride or die. And so it takes a lot for me to let go. But when I tried to reach out and, got ignored in that, it ended up making me see him for who he really was. He never cared. And I just had to learn that recently with my puppy as well. For everything that I'd done, for all that I was, the loyalty was never there on their part. So, this matariki, I've been healing from the betrayal of disloyalty from everybody in my life. And I'm at peace with it. I'm finally at peace with it. The old me would have been effing, drink, stuff my face. But instead, I'm writing a marionation series called John Gunn. And I'm writing a zombie apocalypse musical. My rock apocalypse. I'm loving every minute of it. Not having X in my life, not having Instagram in my life, using YouTube only for like research material, it's absolutely purified my soul. It's changed everything. And I'm seeing all these people on YouTube saying about all these new laws that they're bringing in with YouTube and stuff, and I just keep thinking to myself, just wait until I get my IT department, and then when I build my server, I'm going to be doing my own version of YouTube and Instagram and all of that. So just come and put your stuff on my channel instead. I'll just take over from YouTube. You can put what you like on. Just no abuse videos, like animals and children. I'm not tolerating any kind of abuse videos. I've seen all sorts of things being posted on X in regards to animals and that, and it's absolutely devastating. I'm not going to have that, but otherwise, do what you want. No pornographicals and no abuse videos. Children won't be allowed to access certain, like, you'll have to mark it R16, R18, blah, 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 to protect the little kids and that, but otherwise you can post what you like. So just wait a little bit longer. Let me get to America. Let me set up North Star IT and QE2 games and that, and then I'll do my version of YouTube and all of that, put it all up on my server. YouTube, Discord, Instagram, do all my versions. I don't know about TikTok though, because basically TikTok is just, from what I've been able to gather, it's just a gossip hotline. All people do in it is gossip. So, yes. So interesting. So I'm going to go back to sleep now, I think, or I may lay here and think up my, because the Night of the Black Sun's coming along beautifully, and I might even start going back to The Girl Who Saved Two Kings, the opera, and do stuff for that, as well as the Amber Rose, because the Amber Rose is the first animated movie we're going to make once I set up Fairyland Productions. And the first sign is the first live action we're going to do. And then we've got the dating app, and then we've got the mini games to make while we're making the bigger games in the background. So I was doing some research yesterday actually, and most movies, if they're not relying on a lot of CGI and graphics and that, only take about 3-4 months to make. So I reckon we could actually make a couple of movies a year. A couple of live actions, I mean. You know, do our graphics ones there, but I reckon we could do a couple of live actions a year. You know, like the first sign in The Legend of the Flung Shoe Master. I can't, that one's going to be hilarious. You know, so I reckon we can do it. So I'm going to go. There was that owl again. Ooh. That's what it sounded like. Ooh. And it's one owl because otherwise they go hoot to hoo. One owl goes hoot and the other one goes to who. And there's no to who, there's just a hoot. So it's one owl. So I'm going to go. It's getting very exciting. I think America needs to get ready for me. It's my towel. I wet a towel to put over my feet in it because it's been warm and I hate sweating. And so I keep my body temperature cooled down. Yeah, so get ready because it's all about to get very exciting, world. And you can thank me later. I was going to say we'll have a party when it's over. I am going to have a party when it's over, but it'll be with my family and yeah. I'll speak to you later. I did it all on my own. I'm so proud of myself and I think I'm allowed to be. I've got your back, America. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite.